my scissors and my photo prints, sailing through the waves with my best friend, trading maps for pretty paper and some tape, making memories every single day.
Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to a Some Assemblage Required video combined with Messy Monday. So I'm using acrylic paint today, which is our focus for the month. It's also Mix It Up Monday, so we're using a sketch, and we are using the same sketch as Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. Here is the sketch by Johanna Goulding. And I'm not going to do any paper today other than my background paper, really. The rest of it is going to be acrylic paint on white. And I just love that you can create so many things with just a piece of white paper and some mixed media. So I do have a stencil from Sandy over at Scrap and Reflections. It is behind the paper. I'm thinking I might just try to rub my paint over the top and see if it picks up the image, kind of like when you run a crayon over like a leaf behind a piece of paper on its side, to see if it picks up the image. And I didn't really think it was picking it up, but now as I watch overhead on my camera, it does look like it's actually picking up the image. But I do go and use the stencil right on top as well, so you're going to see that. But you can kind of see all of these diamond kind of patterns appearing in the background, and perhaps if I would have kept going it would have shown a little bit more, but I did not keep going. I did get this like really loose base layer on, I kind of stopped there and thought, oh, it's not really showing up like I wanted, so I decided to do some mixed media over the top, and it shows up much better, and I really like the outcome that I get from it. But I am going for a little bit more of an oranger color in some of these spaces. So it actually works out really well because I got more coverage with my brayer in the background, and that's going to give me kind of that beige color. It's actually, I believe, called Beachcomber Beige. And it's a really old paint, so I don't know if it's even still available. And so now I'm just mixing up some Amarillo, which is yellow, and a little bit of this gold color, and more of that Beachcomber color, Beachcomber Beige. And I am just tapping it on with a sponge dauber, because I don't really want, if I press down too much or use a paintbrush, I feel like the bristles are going to go underneath the stencil. So I think this is going to go a little bit better, and I don't want full coverage over this. I am documenting some photos from Puerto Costa Maya, Mexico, from our cruise in February, and it's got a very Mayan feel to it. So this template, or not template, stencil, really gives me like Mayan ruin vibes. Even though we're not at the ruins, there is kind of like there's a staircase and some really cool looking architecture in the background, so I'm kind of just playing off of that and going for kind of that geometric pattern of bricks and blocks stacked. So hopefully it reads that well when I'm all said and done. So I like the way it's looking, but I got a little bit more coverage than I wanted. I wanted some of those to be a little bit washed out, so I went in again with a little bit more of that Beachcomber Beige to kind of fade out some of those areas. And I really like how it turns out when it's all said and done, because I'm also going to add another stencil right over the top of this one. So that's gonna be here in just a few moments, but it's kind of amazing and cool what you can do with just some paint and a stencil, or ink and a stencil, and you know, you can get a lot of different looks. So I did put a little cutting mat behind my paper because my stencil was not 100% square. I am using this centering stencil, or centering ruler, which has some lines on it, and I'm just aligning one of those lines with the edge of the stencil work that I did, and I'm trimming it off with a blade here. And I'm trying to be very careful because that blade's pretty sharp and it can cut into this ruler, which is very flexible, and so it's thin because it's flexible. And I am going to put some black paper behind it. I thought I'd try the white, but I like the black better. I do like the trees in the foreground of the photographs there. I've got those palm fronds hanging down, so I was inspired to pull out another stencil and add some palm fronds. So you're going to see that here in just a moment. I am using a bunch of ephemera from the 49 and Market Everywhere collection. This is the Heidi Swap stencil that I'm using. It is, I believe, from her Art Walk collection, and it is a paper stencil, but I am just dabbing on black ink. There's a lot of loose pieces in this stencil that you could easily pick up and get your ink under, so I'm being very cautious and just layering them up. And I apologize that you didn't see me do it on the actual background. I just don't know what happened there. Didn't get the film on camera. So I just showed you separately how I did it, just tapping it very carefully. So that is what it looks like. I really like the addition of those palm fronds, and I think it's going to look really super cool. So I am inking everything up with a little black soot distressing to bring more of that black in, and I'm just these are all just layering pieces that are going to go right behind my photos. While I do that, I want to remind you there are a bunch of hops going on that I am playing along with. So Messy Monday is a mixed media thing that MK and I do on our channels, and we have a product focus of using acrylic paint this month, so that's why you're getting a lot of acrylic paint. Even though we're just committed to Mondays, I've been using it a lot all month long. These are a couple pieces from her shop, some assemblage required. I'm going to use those. Unfortunately, that first piece does not make it on the layout. I ended up just going simple with the two leaf pieces, and I really like those. I'll put a link for those down below in case you're interested in those. And then for Mix It Up Monday, this is a monthly hop hosted by Tara over at the Paper Snob, and there is usually a mixed media sketch going on that we are using. And we chose to use the same one that is for 30 days of sketches because it's really hard to combine two sketches, right? So yeah, the idea is to use mixed media for Mix It Up Monday, and playing along again with 30 days of sketches using this awesome sketch from Johanna Goulding. I will, if I can find her on Instagram or social media, I will put a link for her down below as well. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want to place everything. I like that little frame. I was originally trying to put it at the bottom of my photos, and then I just set it down while I went to look at other stuff, and I set it to the right hand side over here, and I came back to it and really liked where it was at, so I just left it there. And sometimes that's how that works, right? You just kind of like a happy accident. And so these wood veneer pieces are adhesive backed, so I'm going to just peel the adhesive right off the backer or off the back of the acrylic piece and stick those down. They also have a mask over the front, so you want to make sure that you peel the masking off of the front, because some of the wood that you get from MK is different colors, and you can't really tell that when they're sitting in the packaging, because the masking is all the same color. So some of them are much darker wood than others. I do like both, so I have quite a bit of both in my stash, but this one happens to be the lighter wood, and I like these tropical leaves because I felt like they go really well with the leaves I've already got going on in the black there. And I did consider backing this little frame, which normally that's something that I like to do because I don't like a lot of the intersecting lines showing behind. But in this case, I did like seeing those palm fronds, so I didn't decide to back it. I am using a little bit of dimensional adhesive to give a little added support because that is a chipboard piece, that little frame, and so I don't want my wood veneer to pop off of it. And then I'm going to use this little banner piece that says Explore and add that, and then I've got a couple other little wordy bits that say we are adventurers and new experiences. So I thought those were really cool. I am just about done here, and then I will leave a little bit of journaling space up above in that in those layers. I can do a little additional writing, and that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out all of the links down below and all of the hops that I am playing along with. I appreciate that you spent time with me today, and I will be back again real soon with another video. So hit the subscribe button so you are notified if and the bell for notifications if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.